Guys, the bot builder's back and welcome to another episode of RWA Omega Maximum Overdrive 2. And we're already past the halfway point as we have, well, 4 machines in a Champion of Champions. We have Danton Kia, the Robot Rumble winner. We have Layfliot, the Discord Annihilator winner. And of course, last time was the Tag Team Terror. The Heart Foundation lost the belts to Team Destiny, but at the end of the tournament, one team stood tall, and those are the teams of the bitter enemies. Despite their poor chemistry, Rapture NG and Subatomic version 4 overcame the odds to become tag team champions, and they both go in to the Champion of Champions. Wonder if we could be getting a rematch of that legendary rivalry. But enough about that as well. I hope you've got your bag of Lays ready, and I hope you're watching a bit of NASCAR on the side, as it's the US Championships. Our third annual US Championships. Now, of course, in the past ones, we've seen, in the first one, we saw Bite Force win it, but of course, in the most recent one in 2020, the only machine to talk about was Whiplash, who took out the likes of Bite Force, Sewer Snake, and Megabyte in the finals to become the US Champion. And if you remember, they went on to become Champion of Champions as well in that exact same series. Now, both Whiplash and Bite Force have both entered into this US Championship, so it should be interesting to see if they maybe could get a rematch and see a clash of the champions. But there are 6 other machines getting in their way first. So enough hesitation. Let the US Championships begin. Duck 2.0. Bite Force. And in the qual controller for the CPZs to kick off this rematch from the 2019 US Championships, we have Matilda and we have Toxic Seahorse. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. Now, can I just say, look at Bite Force. That claw, let's just say it's seen better days, but already they are coming with a good little attack right now onto Duck 2.0, and they are coming with a good little grapple. And look at this, and Bite Force still showing it has some fight left in it. And look at this, they pushed them into Toxic Seahorse, and Toxic Seahorse is bringing down that devastating axe onto the underbelly of Duck. And Duck, they're already in trouble right here at the minute. Toxic Seahorse coming with that ferocious axe. I mean, House Rebels are not getting any days off this time. They got a day off in the Tag Team Terror, because we had to use those corners, but not this time. And, well, Duck, they do manage to get away, and they're trying to come with a good little push right down onto Bite Force. Now, these two, they did fight each other in the first ever fight of the first ever US Championship, so it's fitting that we're starting off here, and look at Bite Force's claw. It's all bent out of shape. The team say they are going to retire after this year. And they say they're not going to bother entering Series 3, but they just want to get one last US Championship win before they throw in the towel. And what a great retirement that will be for Bite Force. But look at Duck coming with a good little push right there in onto Bite Force. Bite Force getting pushed into the corner, and look at this, now in comes Toxic Seahorse, and this is already doing no favours to the already battered looking Bite Force, although Bite Force managing to escape right there. And now they're coming with another good little grapple right here in onto Duck, and look at this, they are coming with a good little grapple, and they flip Duck up and over. Although Duck, yep, they're able to self right, and now they are coming with a good little slam right here, and they're pushing Duck into Matilda's CPZ. And they're trying to lift Duck up, and Duck are currently on their face, but they can get back down from there. That was how Bite Force were able to beat them in last time these two fought in the US Championships. Duck, they didn't compete in the 2021, but they're competing in the 2021 one. And, oh, look at this, they got a good little grapple right there into Bite Force, and this is already causing a bit of damage right there to that already vulnerable top claw that's just flailing in the wind now, really, isn't it? Duck, though, kind of a good little lift up right there and onto Bite Force. Matilda comes in with a good hit of that flywheel, and Bite Force, they're currently on their side, and Matilda are trying to cause some more damage to that rear spinning flywheel, and in comes Duck, who are getting that front lifter in underneath. This is a very good match to start things off. Now, all the fights here, they are one-on-one. We have 8 machines in a simple one-on-one tournament, and the winner will be crowned US Champions. Will we get a defense? Well, or will we see Bite Force win back their crown? Of course, they lost it to eventual champs Whiplash. Although, look at this, coming with another great lift up right there and onto Duck. Duck getting lifted up by Bite Force here. And they do come for another good lift up right here. And they're pushing them into Toxic Seahorse's CPZ. And, oh, another set of good axe shots right there from the axe of Toxic Seahorse. As I think this fight Maybe going to the judges. Cease. What a match to start things off, and it's going to be a real shame to see like, one of these machines crash out, because honestly I think this could go either way. It was extremely back and forth, but the judges have made their decision based on damage, control, and aggression. Will Duck 2.0 get revenge this time? Well, I'm hearing from the judges that they won't, and they've given it to Bite Force. Bite Force, this battered, beaten up, poor old guard of the arena, is able to pull it off. And look at the claw. Just look at how wobbly and vulnerable that claw is, but they were still able to use, Paul Ventimiglia was still able to use great driving skill and great aggression to beat the machine they beat all those years ago, back in 2019, yet again. Biohazard. Hypershock. And in the core patrol zone for the CPZs, well, we have the classic robot combat duo, and they're funnier than Ant and Dec as well. It's Rhino and Virus. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So honestly, it's just amazing to see Biohazard in the arena, but not only are we seeing a legend return, but we're seeing a newcomer! Oh, and it's over already! Well, so much for that grandiose return. A multiple-time pre-series grand finalist returns after a long retirement, and that's the treatment the legend gets. Well, talk about disrespectful, but Hypershock isn't buying into any of that legend story. And they just got right in underneath Biohazard, and they just sent them out the arena with that vertical spinner. And honestly, this is their debut in Road Wars Omega for a Hypershock. They've of course competed in Battle Balls multiple times, and honestly I think they're proving here that the Road Wars Omega is their arena, and they don't play around. Cease. That is such a shame. I was really looking forward to see Biohazard return and maybe like kick some butts after all these years, but that was unexpected. Hypershock got that spinner in and they just punted Biohazard just clean out the arena, or with a combination of that four-wheel drive speed, that low wedge, and that ferocious spinner. I think this could be a potential US champion, but for now, well, they're going to the semi-finals, and poor Biohazard. I think they may need to go back into retirement. No, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. But it's just a shame, really. The reigning US champions, Whiplash. Foxic. And in the core patrol zone for the CPZs, well, I mean, of course they're back, because that fight was so quick, they didn't get a chance to even blink. It's Rhino and Virus. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. Can I just say, what an incredible first round match this is going to be. We have Foxic and we have the reigning champions Whiplash, and honestly I could see this going either way actually. Like, Foxic could put down the reigning champions, the Series 2 champions, although Whiplash, they seem to be having a bit of difficulties with their spinner. Their spinner seems to be clipping onto something. They probably will need to fix that for later on, but they currently are aware of that, and they're trying to get that lifting arm in to try and take control of Foxic. Foxic, no, they're able to self-right though. And now they're going to try and get that front little lifting arm in underneath. Now, Foxic, they weren't made in the UK, but Craig Danby now lives in America. So he's from the UK, but moved to America. So that basically clears up any notations about if it should really be in this US Championship. But anyways, Whiplash though, their spinner is still facing a lot of difficulties at the minute. Foxic though, coming in some good pushes, and this is looking good for Foxic currently at the minute. They're coming in with some many good shoves, but Whiplash, you should never underestimate the power of the lifter. Even when the spinner's down, it still has that lifting arm, and it's using that lifting arm to great control effect right here. And they're currently pushing Foxic, and Foxic are currently on their backs. And Whiplash, the reigning US champions, pushing them into Virus, and Virus has got a nice hold of Foxic. And what Foxic, Whiplash are now trying to come for a nice little lift up right there onto Foxic. Foxic very nearly did go in the pit. They very nearly did. And Whiplash now trying to come in with some more great lifts, some great heave-hos. Virus now comes for another great slam. But now in comes Whiplash, who are trying to come for a great little lift up right there. In onto Virus. And Virus, they're on their backs now. Look at that. Look at that great show of strength by the robotic Superman of the arena that is Whiplash. But in comes Rhino, who are now coming in with some good slams right there. And they're trying to knock Virus up and over. Virus, I think he's just having a nap, really. Rhino coming in with some good slams right there, and onto Foxic, and again another good slam. Foxic, they want to self-right and get all out of the way, and that's certainly what they did. And they're coming in with a good little lift up right there onto Whiplash. This is a very more tactical match. We're not seeing the Fox flying because, well, the spinner of Whiplash is just not working at the minute. They really are going to need to fix that, but they are still using that lifting arm to great effect, and this is how they won Series 2. It wasn't just because of the spinner. It's just that combination of that four-wheel drive, that immense pushing power, that great lifting arm, and sometimes all you need is just all of that, as well as that driving skill, and they're pushing Foxic into the arena sidewall. Foxic, they are able to get away, and they're trying to come for a nice little lift up right here, and they lift Whiplash up and over. And Foxic, they're putting up a valiant effort to try and put down the champions, but Whiplash coming in for yet another lift, and they're lifting up Foxic, and look at it, oh, Foxic gets dunked down, and they're into Virus's corner. They're into Virus's corner, and they're dumping the Fox down, and another slam. Cease. But it does indeed go to the judges, and honestly, the Fox is looking very battered, but they're getting some good lifts, and will that be enough to pull off probably the biggest upset in RWA Omega history? Our second judges' decision of the night, and I'm getting news from the judges that they did not need to take long to decide this one, as they've given it to the US champions, the champion of champions, the reigning champions, Whiplash. Yeah, Whiplash, despite their spinner not working, the judges felt that they were still able to use great control, great driving skill, and great aggression with that lifting arm and that four-wheel drive to send the Fox back to the UK. Well, not really, but I mean, Craig Danby's staying in America, but I was like, my God, my jokes have been fucking shit today, haven't they? But either way, Whiplash goes through to the semi-finals. That's what you need to know. Shatter Sewer Snake. Another rematch on our hands, this one from the 2020 US Championships. And overseeing this fight, it's the drunk Matilda and the drunk Virus. Oh, fucking hell, this is going to end great, isn't it? Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1... activate. So this should be a great little battle here going on here, and honestly, I'm excited to see this because even though these two have fought before, technically, when Shatter was blue was a very different beast to what this machine looks now. Shatter, it looks so much nicer, and it's got that devastating hammer, and that hammer is the heaviest hammer in, well, RWA Omega history, they say, and look at this! They're able to outwedge Sewer Snake, and this is a surprise. I thought Sewer Snake, of course, Sewer Snake, the favourites, they're seeded for Series 2, seeded 15, because they came second place in one of the 10 Royal Rumbles, but they're currently struggling right now. And I think those Forks have been able to outwedge Sewer Snake. It's like Shatter came prepared for them. They came prepared before Shatter, and look at this. They're bringing down that hammer, causing some big blows to that top of the snake, and they're bringing down another hammer blow. Sewer Snake, they really just can't get in underneath Shatter here at the minute, and they're bringing down that hammer once again and again and again, and now they're going to try and push the Robo Games legend into the CPZ, and they're pushing them into Virus, and they're lifting them up. Sewer Snake, we have not really seen that wedge come into play, but now we do. Now we do, and they're getting right in underneath Shatter, although I wonder how effective that weapon will be against a non-spinner. Of course, it is a spinner killer, so that's what it's best at dealing with, but Shatter is currently dominating Sewer Snake here in a minute. That ferocious hammer, as I said, it's the heaviest hammer. I do fear for its top heaviness, but honestly, at the minute, that's not really affecting it too much, and Shatter, they're currently shattering any hopes of Sewer Snake. fighting Whiplash in a rematch and potentially getting revenge. Matilda comes in with a decent little flip though. And again, they're right in underneath Shatter right here. And they've got Sewer Snake very near the pits. And I don't think Sewer Snake, do they have a response? Do they have a response? They're trying to use that frontage flipper to get Shatter away! But it won't work. And Shatter gets an impressive debut victory here. Well, not really their debut, but it's still an impressive debut victory for the new machine from Team Bots FC. Shatter pitting the seeded Sewer Snake. Cease. Well, that just goes to show a statement here. I reckon Shatter could be the machine that could be the face of the Hammer Bots in my series. That was an impressive performance. Those low forks just completely left Sewer Snake's low wedge, the thing that they used to beat Blue last time, it just left it completely null and void. It came with those repetitive slams, and in the end, it pushed Sewer Snake down the pit. Such a shame to see Sewer Snake go out. They had such a great series too, but they're not going to have a great match on Overdrive 2, as they're in the pits. So we are now here for our first of our semi-finals, and what a clash it is! It's not only a rematch from the last US Championships, but it's a battle of the US Champions, as the 2020 US Champions Whiplash takes on the 2019 US Champions Bite Force. And overseeing what is bound to be an awesome match, it's Foxic Seahorse and it's Rhino. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So here's the thing. What am I saying? Whiplash have done it before, but can they do it again? Can they take out Bite Force? And it looks like the spinner is working for this fight. So maybe we can see some bot parts fly. Maybe they want to rip off that top claw once and for all on Bite Force. Well, Bite Force already are coming in with a good little grapple, and look at that claw. It's so battered. It's so battered, of course, from all the wears and tears, made the debut all the way back in 2019. One of the oldest robots that's still going, and well, that very clearly does show. And look at that Whiplash coming in a good hit with that vertical spinner right there in onto Bite Force, and then trying to use that front lifter to lift Bite Force up. The reigning champions, and a nice hit right there in onto Bite Force. Now Whiplash. Now if someone is able to beat Whiplash, and that would be huge. And already look at Bite Force. Bite Force, they're currently in trouble. Oh well. That was not the thing I was expecting to break today. I wasn't expecting Rhino's horn to break off. I was honestly expecting Bite Force's claws to be the thing to break off. Well, Bite Force, they're able to get away, but another big hit from Whiplash in onto Bite Force, and they're coming with that vertical spinner right here. And in comes Rhino, coming with a huge slam, and Bite Force, they're in trouble. They really are struggling right here in a minute. They are able to self-right, but look at that. Oh, and Bite Force. Very nearly going in the pit, although I think it is. They are going to go in the pit. Oh, but Whiplash is chewing away at poor Bite Force, and Bite Force are sent down the pit. Cease. Oh, I think that last blow must have done something. Look, the weapon, it's not firing back like it normally does. There's something wrong with this Bite Force. I really am going to have to retire after this. It would be such a shame to see, well, the first ever robot to win a thing in my series to retire. But that's sometimes the way it is, and Whiplash, they put down a legend, and they continue their legendary run here in the US Championships as they go through to the finals. Well, here's our next match between our two other semi-finalists, Hypershock. They look so impressive in that last fight, eliminating Biohazard in a matter of seconds. But they're facing another impressive machine in Shatter with that big hammer who, well, completely dominated Sewer Snake. It's going to be a battle for ground clearance, this one. And overseeing this fight, well, a machine who's always able to get in with that ground clearance thanks to that long-ass snout. It's Foxic Seahorse. And then there's Virus. He's got quite a high ground clearance considering the amount of times everyone's able to flip him. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So, who's got the lower ground clearance? Well, we'll have to wait and see as well. Shatter already pushing in onto Hypershock. Hypershock and Shatter are coming in, and already neither machine's able to get in underneath who? No one at the minute, but I do think Shatter's winning at the minute. They're coming in with that big hammer right here at the early stages, but Hypershock pushes Shatter back. And they're going to come for a big slam with that vertical spinner. In comes Virus, coming with a good little grapple right here in onto Shatter. Shatter, they're currently in trouble, and a big shot right there from that vertical spinner of Hypershock. And again, Shatter, they're currently on their side, and they're trying to break free, but that top heaviness is making it difficult for them to self-ride. Although, oh, look at that for a drift. Look at that for a drift. They do say they have Omni wheels, so they are able to do drifts. And look at this. Now they're able to get in underneath Hypershock, and they're pushing them into the arena. They're pushing them into the arena sidewalls, and now they're pushing them right in with Toxic Seahorse. And look at this. Look at this. It's a double axe whammy right here for Hypershock. Hypershock, they really are in a bit of a difficult situation right now. But look at this. Shatter gets knocked up right there, and Hypershock is able to push them away. And Hypershock, oh, Shatter, very nearly to go in the pit. Look at the ridiculousness of this. The hammer, it's so big. That's definitely gonna put them in trouble at some point sooner or later. And now Shatter, and stopping that spinning blade of Hypershock again, trying to get in underneath of those forks. And well, they are getting in underneath of those forks again, and they're pushing Hypershock about here in a minute. And this is not the kind of performance I expected to see from this machine. Shatter bringing down that humongous hammer, and another great slam. Hypershock, no! Knock Shatter up and over. Shatter, they're currently struggling on their back, but that front wedge of Hypershock is in trouble. What has happened to that front wedge of Hypershock? It seems to be getting in the spinner's way, and now Shatter are coming in with some more great blows to the top of Hypershock. And Hypershock, well, this will be a shock, because Hypershock, after eliminating biohazard in record time, is going to lose to a machine like Shatter, who's definitely proving that hammers can work in Robot Wars Omega, and that's just great to see. We've seen many hammer bots in the past not perform very well, and now we're finally getting to see the potential of these underutilized weapons, and in comes Toxic Seahorse bringing down the axe once again. Shatter pushing Hypershock in. Look, that front wedge, it's a bit buckled. It's buckled in a bit as a result of these head-on collisions, and well, as a result, that's gotten in the spinner's way, and it's really struggling right now. Hypershock, though, they are able to get away, and they come with a huge slam. They didn't get hit with the spinner, though, so that was not the damage they were looking for. Shatter, once again, being able to self-ride, and they're bringing down that big hammer once again. And now in comes Virus, who's lifting them both up, and this is going to be very interesting. Cease. As we go into the judges. And the judges have made their decision. And, well, they didn't take too long to decide this one. They say it's a unanimous decision, but they've given it to Shatter. Yep, they feel Shatter won on all three categories. They won on control, aggression, and damage as well. Look at that wedge of Hypershock. That wedge, definitely as soon as that wedge got buckled, that was all their chances gone. Because, look, the spinner just can't spin as a result of the wedge. But, there we go. I sorted it out. The spinner can spin now, but that really did screw over their chances. And honestly, if it wasn't for that wedge getting in the way, I think they could have won it. But alas, that wasn't to be, and it's Shatter that progresses through to the US Championship Finals. And speaking of the US Championship Finals, at last we're here, and what a final it is. We have the 2020 US Champions, the Champion of Champions, the Series 2 Champions, Whiplash, taking on easily the underdog, Shatter. They both had very impressive roads to get here. Of course, Whiplash was able to beat Foxic without the use of their spinner before dominating Bite Force, whereas Shatter were able to dominate Sewer Snake, but they got very lucky against Hypershock, I feel, but they were still able to dominate with that hammer. Honestly, I feel this match honestly could go either way, and once again, just like Hypershock and Shatter and like all of other Shatter fights, it's going to come down to the lower ground clearance. And the Core Patrols, though, for the CPZs, well, we have Rhino and Matilda, who are hoping to find out if we'll get a new King of America, if we'll get a new President of America, or the old President will run for office yet again. My God, King, just saying King sounds so much better, Jesus Christ. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So Whiplash already over last spin, and already calling a huge hit into Shatter, and Shatter has already been knocked up and over. And honestly, I think there's going to be a retain, and I know that's going to piss a lot of people off, but I genuinely think there's going to be a retain here for Whiplash. And Whiplash, they're just proving why they're a Series 2 champion. I mean, we all deep down, we really want Shatter to win this, but at this rate, I don't think they are. They're currently struggling on their side, and that first blow by that vertical spinner has really threw them off course. And Whiplash, they seem determined to get Shatter out the arena. They want to get this over and done with as quickly as possible, because they know how dangerous Shatter can be. Those low forks, but you know, they are what they are. They're low, and Shatter currently on their side, on their backs, and Whiplash, they're trying to get rid of Shatter. And Shatter, what a great performance it's been to just get this far. Being a hammer robot, being a weapon that's like many people write off, but in the end, I don't think they're going to be taking out this machine Whiplash. And look at that, Whiplash. They had Shatter up on the arena wall. They could have just left them there, but I think they more really just want to get them out of the arena. And they're lifting. They're trying to lift Shatter up. Shatter though, able to get away. Look at this from Shatter. Look at this, a great fight back by Shatter here, and an immense fight back. Look at this. And Matilda comes in a good flip right there onto Whiplash. And, well, that flip, Shatter was in trouble from that flip. And in the end, Shatter's hopes and dreams of becoming the US champions have shattered just like that at the hands of the reigning champions, Whiplash. Cease. Oh, that is such a shame. I know a lot of people are going to be unhappy about that. I know a lot of people really don't like Whiplash, but it is a reigning champion for a damn good reason, and they just proved that reason right there. They're able to dominate Shatter, a machine who's dominated so many in this tournament already, before sending them out of the arena, and they defend and retain their US championships. They will be running for office yet again. I really wish I could say king, but that joke wouldn't work because Americans don't have kings. And oh boy, it is a shame. It is a shame for Shatter. It would have been so cool to see a hammer robot finally prove that hammer is enough to be championship worthy, but alas, not this time. But that was definitely an impressive performance. But Whiplash, they win the US championships and they go through to the champion of champions. Would it become a 2-time champion of champions, I wonder? Well, we only have 2 more episodes to find out, and we'll see you again next time for the New Bloods. But until then, the Bot Builder out.